Hi, my name is Maggie and I'm 21 and I have FASD or Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder. In this video I'm going to talk about how I haven't let the fact that I have FASD stop me from going after my dreams and doing what I want to do, and I hope anyone who listens to this or watches the video will get something out of it, because that's what I'm doing it for, is to kind of help people get something out of my experience of it, and hopefully it might help them in some way or another. Okay, so the one question I often get asked is, having FASD, does that kind of stop me doing things that other people do? And my reply to them always is no, it does not. For me, it just takes a bit longer. So, let's see. In secondary school, my friends would all be going out, meeting up, going out partying, and for me anyway, that's not me. So I kind of amn't into that anyway. So I suppose that kind of made me different from everyone else. Instead, I had two good friends, and so I kind of organised that we might go to a cinema or something that's a lot more relaxed, low-key. And I suppose because I was the one doing, me and my mum and my dad and stuff were the ones planning it, it meant that I didn't feel like it was out of my control, which means I didn't get too stressed either. So that would be one advice, that, if you ever want to do kind of a meeting with friends or whatever, that maybe you should be the one to organise it, as it just means that you know what's going to be happening, and there shouldn't be any real surprises that can kind of cause you to become anxious and stressed out. And so I would always kind of go cinema or just hang around window shopping, because I would often buy things that I don't need. So I learned that I have a habit of just buying something because it was on sale, or it just sounded like it was really good value. And so that's something I've learned that I need to kind of be aware of, is the fact that I'm very prone to buying, impulse buying, if it's a sale or two for the price of one. So very often I would come home with things that A, I never used, or B, I already had loads of it, but I bought it simply because it was on sale. So I thought, oh, I'm getting a great price. I'd say even people who don't have FASD would do it, but for me it was very regular, so we realised this was probably something to do with having FASD. So I've kind of become a bit more aware of that. Independence. Looking back now, I've accepted the fact that there's some things in my life I won't ever be able to do that other people can do. I mean, cleaning and being organised, I can't do. I mean, if my parents didn't help me tidy my room, and it's not a very big room, it would just get worse and worse and worse until, it just would be a health hazard, pretty much. And that is something I've been trying to kind of improve on. And for me, I'd be able to do it for so long. I'd be able to keep my room tidy for maybe a few days, and then it just begins to disintegrate. It'll just start getting more messier and messier, and then it just gets to the stage where I'm scared to deal with it, because I will start to clean it up and then I get overwhelmed. I get really overwhelmed, and then I end up kind of putting so much effort into doing this one thing, and it might be something just like, I don't know, picking up all the wrappers or something from the floor. I'll just be focused on that I end up burning myself out, and then looking around the rest of the room, it just becomes like a mountain and I just give up. And this has been a real issue for me growing up. The fact that, I will put all my effort into doing something for a certain amount of time, and then I just burn out because of it. And it's like, for me, it's just, I become mentally exhausted and I just can't think straight. I kind of become more, not aggressive, but small things will begin to set me off. I mean, it can be silly things like just someone looking at me the wrong way, and that will just cause me to start off. So that is the reason at the moment living away from home isn't an option. Which does still upset me because I see my friends all moving away from home, starting living in apartments or flats with their own friends and really having a friendship bonding, which at my moment of time isn't something I'll be able to do. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to keep trying, because I am. I just need to kind of keep just trying to get better and better. I suppose my friends who don't have FASD, they have no problem going on the bus, going on the train, going into town on their own. And for me, it was a big thing. I posted in the group recently the fact that I went on a 3.5-hour bus up to visit my sister, and this was a huge thing for me, and I still am like so over the moon about it. But in order for that to happen, there was a lot of, my parents dropped me off to the bus. They made sure I got onto the bus. They waited until the bus actually drove off. And I had my phone, so when I knew I was getting near to the city where my sister lives, I was texting her and she was texting me, making sure that I knew not to get off at the bus stop, because there was transfer. If you want to go to the airport, you had to get onto another bus. So she was texting me before that, being like, "No, Maggie, you stay on this bus. This will bring you to where I'll meet you." And so when the bus arrived, my sister started waiting for me. So because I knew I wasn't just going to be getting off and, wondering what to do next, my sister was there. I wasn't stressed at all. But it took a lot of planning for me and also my parents, just to make sure that I knew what was happening. They knew that there was no chance of me accidentally getting off the bus or not getting on the bus at all or anything. But that was a huge step for me. I mean, that was me getting independence. The fact that I went on a bus on my own, no one sitting beside me or holding my hand. And at 21 years old, most people who don't have FASD would be, well, I do this every day, I do that every day. But for me, having FASD, this was a huge thing because I kind of overcame my anxiety of being in crowds or being in with loads of people I don't like. And the fact that I wasn't stressed. I mean, I put my music headphones on and I listened to music and I zoned out, which I think was key for me, the fact that I could just zone out. And yeah, so that was a huge step in my independence. And that was one thing that, I could do it. I did it. I can say I did it. And for me, that was huge. Recently also, I did my first proper sleepover with one of my friends who hasn't got FASD. And, for me, I take Concerta, and some parents aren't comfortable giving the Concerta to me, which made it really kind of awkward when I was younger, because some people just, they just have a thing about giving any kind of drugs or pills or whatever even though it's prescribed and everything to kids. So this kind of made it really awkward when it came to when I was younger, because most of the parents didn't want to have that responsibility. But my friend's mum had no problem. She was very cool about it. And she didn't make me feel awkward, or she was just, I'd take it in the morning. So when I got up, she just handed me the pills, gave me some water for me to swallow them down with, and there was no awkwardness about it, which it was nice. But yeah, I did a sleepover, and I know sleepovers you're actually not meant to sleep, but me and my friend, we slept. And it was okay. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't stressed. I didn't feel like I had to pretend to be not someone I'm not, but to pretend. I didn't have to act any differently than I usually would. Sorry, that is a notification. And another one. Turn on silent. I didn't have to act any differently. I could be myself. I could be relaxed. And for me, this was a huge thing, because for so long I've kind of worn a mask, and I put barriers up so that people see one version of me, and one who's organized, who doesn't show that anything's wrong, that when I'm feeling really stressed or I'm having panicky attacks inside and my anxiety is going through the roof, it doesn't show. But usually, if I've had a really bad day where everything has just been really hellish, it's the only word to describe it, in school no one would be able to tell, but as soon as I got home it would just I'd blow up, and it could be really bad. I mean, there was times when I'd blow up and it could take hours for me to calm down, and I'd heard verbally a lot of people. I mean, I used to shout abuse and say the most horrible things to my mum when I just lost it. And I mean, I don't know why I lost it. I mean, it could be the smallest things, but I guess it's just from when I was in school and trying to pretend everything's okay when it wasn't okay. That was just putting so much mental strain on me that as soon as I got home, it would just all, like a volcano, it would just erupt, and it could take hours for me to actually be able to calm down. And my mom was great. I mean, she'd knock on my door with a cup of hot chocolate and be like, she wouldn't say anything. She wouldn't make eye contact. She would just hand it to me in a plastic cup with a straw, and then she'd just leave. And for me, I would then feel so guilty, the fact that she was being so nice. She just came in and gave me a hot chocolate after all the abuse and everything I'd said. And for me, this is a trigger for me to calm down, that I'd start to kind of think, and as I would calm down, I'd begin to feel more and more guilt about the fact I was using my parents and the rest of my siblings and stuff as a punching bag just because I'd had a really bad day. And the fact that I couldn't control it, it wasn't something I'd chosen to do. I hadn't just decided, okay, today I'm going to treat everyone around me like crap. I just lost it, and I lost control. And once I'd calmed down, I would kind of go out, and me and my mum would talk and be like, okay, so she wouldn't bring up the abuse and stuff that I'd been shouting at her. She'd be like, okay, we'll have a talk. And she made sure I was very relaxed, that she wasn't forcing me to say anything. And I think that was a big thing, that we could just sit in the same room for 10-15 minutes without me saying anything until I was ready. And then as soon as I was ready, it would just all kind of come out, like I'd had a bad day, my friends hadn't been nice, I'd done something, or I could have just been having a bad day, to be honest. I could have just gotten off the wrong side of the bed as well. And then we'd work through that. And these moments are the ones that really stay with me. The fact that, you know, it didn't matter how I treated her, that she would always, you know, she wouldn't judge me. And I suppose as I got older, it became easier and easier for me to kind of come home and talk about, you know, I've had a bad day, I just need to go to my room, I just need to listen to music in my headphones way too loud and dance around my room or just zone out. And for me, that was either watching TV, movie, or just, it could literally just be me lying on my bed, eyes closed, not sleeping, but just letting myself completely relax. I've really gone off point here, haven't I? Whoops. This is what happens when I start like waffling and talking about what it's like. I forget exactly what I'm trying to talk about. Yeah. So I think I've really lost the track of it. The advice I'd give from this video and what I've been talking about is the fact that people with FASD, they learn differently. It may take them a lot longer to learn some things than others. But just because your friends at a certain age are doing something and you're not ready or there yet to be able to do it, it doesn't mean it will never happen for you. And to be honest, accepting this isn't just going to come overnight. I mean, it's taken me years. I'm 21 now and I still haven't fully accepted it. But I think going on the bus by myself was a huge step for me to accepting, okay, I might never be able to drive. I might never be able to live somewhere else alone. But that doesn't mean I can't have my independence. It just means I need help. And it's okay to ask for help. But at the same time, you have to be in that right mindset to be able to ask for help. And I will do another video on my experience of finally accepting that I need help. And I will try and stay on point for that video. Yeah, also, if you want to comment below any other kind of topics, I have a few that people have commented on, so I do plan to do a video on them, and I will try and stay on point this time. Yeah, well, I hope you found whatever I said, because I can't remember it now. That's another thing. I start waffling and talking, and I can't remember what exactly I've said before. So it makes for some very interesting videos. So that's one thing to be aware of. Well, first, I suppose I just want to finish by saying thank you. And any feedback is very much appreciated. And feel free for it to be positive or negative, or to comment if you found it helpful, not so helpful, because this is my first time kind of doing this kind of thing. So, yeah. Bye!